In this episode of Dolce Vita, treat your palate with the taste of the Lion City. Check out interior design essentials for your home. Relish a moment of tranquility in the midst of your busy life. And see how a baking master bakes your dream cake into reality.
Iconic Singaporean dishes. Usually it's served in a big bowl of rice noodles. Here, the chef replaced rice noodles with cognac rice. The broth is condensed and especially rich and flavorful. Kind of tastes like a laksa risotto.
And I'm sure a lot of girls also love this cognac dish because it's very healthy and almost calorie-free. And also, the crunchy and very chewy texture of the cognac pairs very well with the laksa. So even if you have a big bowl, it's almost guilt-free.
So when we eat durians in Singapore, we usually eat it with the shell. So after you finish your durian, we'll usually use the shell or the husk, top it up with drinking water. And then some of us will put salt into the water and then we'll drink it together. I was trying to find an ingredient to pair with the durian because it's very pungent. Initially it was supposed to be spiced nuts, but then I changed it to caviar because I used to drink the salted water after eating durian. So I find the salty and the sweet goes quite well with one another. That's why there's caviar on top of the durian ice cream.
I'm sure most of us have thought about what our dream homes would look like. But the reality is, when you're trying to find precise pieces of furniture that fits your lifestyle and needs, it can get quite complicated. Take me, for example. I want something that scales well within the space, I want something that's functional, and of course, I want something that's stylish. And it looks like I'm going to need some help. What are some of the latest trends in home space design?
I think there are three trends I want to talk about. The first one is definitely sustainability. As the world is becoming more environmental conscious, we strive to manufacture our products in a responsible way, and also by sourcing sustainable materials, not only that they will last longer, but it's also very pleasing to use. The second trend I could talk about is home office. So we strive to create a very comfortable, welcoming, and space-efficient home office. We see the trend to last even after the pandemic because it has changed people's work behavior permanently. The third trend I want to mention is about using earthy color tones. We take inspiration from the Danish natural landscape and recreated them in a series of our chair. This series is good for both indoor and outdoor use. It will blend in perfectly in an outdoor setting while bringing nature into part of your home while you're using it indoor.
What makes designer furniture so special?
Well, first of all, you're buying a one-of-a-kind design that is not generic, so you have a very unique piece at your home, showcasing your personal taste and preferences. Secondly, they're sustainably produced in a way that you can feel good about contributing to the environment while buying our furniture pieces. For example, some materials are even made of recycled plastic, and you help reducing the overall waste on the earth.
How would you define good design? Is there a balance between beauty and function?
Functionality and design, aesthetic, should go hand in hand with each other, and that's a big part of our brand philosophy. Beauty should not be on the expense of functionality because they always go hand in hand. We also believe in creating retro and classic design through modern interpretation.
Do you have any tips or any considerations we should have when we try to create our own space?
Oh, definitely. I would recommend something made of very quality materials and something that is sustainably sourced. Not only that, they will last you longer, and it will also at the same time give you a very pleasing user experience. You wouldn't need to replace them after a few years of usage, which actually saves you money. It's really important for us to design something that is not only aesthetically pleasing, but at the same time has a great durability and longevity.
Do you have any pieces that you would like to recommend to people living in the city?
Oh, definitely. I think it's really important to have something really versatile for our Hong Kong living environment. There's a set of very cute accessories I want to talk about, and the design inspiration actually comes from the designer's own family members. As you can see, they come in all different body shapes and sizes because each item represents one of his family members. I think it really brings a good sense of connection, family connection into your own home, and the kids absolutely love them.
How do you see the future of furniture design and interior design?
Well, I think sustainability is definitely going to grow bigger in the coming future as people are becoming increasingly environmental conscious and want to conserve the environment we're living in.
When choosing furniture for your home, I think a number of practical and aesthetic factors need to be considered. However, the most important thing is that the pieces you have should bring you joy. Evaluate what you have before you throw it out. Measure the space to make sure that everything fits comfortably. Because at the end of the day, it is a blessing to be able to turn a house into your home.
After the break, discover the balance of body, mind, and soul. And check out some mouth-watering, one-of-a-kind sweet creations.
Living well and choosing health is harder than we think when we are led by a busy city life. It seems that we are rarely taking the time to check.
We already know having a healthy and balanced diet is the key to your well-being. By tasting the nourishing
Mental and spiritual well-being.
Whether it's a birthday celebration, anniversary, or special occasion, we usually buy a cake to mark that special date. But nowadays, we don't really settle down for a regular vanilla cake. We prefer something more delicious and photogenic at the same time. So if you like designer cakes, you're in for a treat today, because today we're going to meet my friend Ankush, who used to be called a baking prodigy, and now he is a young entrepreneur who turned his passion into a career. Ankush, tell us a bit about the role of a designer cake.
So designer cakes are for any special celebration, for example, like birthdays, weddings, baby showers, or anything anyone wants to celebrate special. So when I started 13 years ago, I think there was very few designer cake businesses doing designer cakes. And recently with Instagram and people wanting like really amazing art pieces for cakes because it creates memories, there's been a lot of new businesses opening up doing creative cakes and desserts. And I think the whole dessert scene in general, all over the world and Hong Kong, has only been growing, which is so nice because now we get such a variety of delicious treats in Hong Kong.
And what are the elements to separate an ordinary cake from a designer luxury cake?
Right, so for designer cakes, we work a lot with the client to come up with what design they like and try and get all the personalized details they would like into a cake. So for example, the unicorn cake, a client wants a unicorn cake, but we don't just put unicorns, we put a slide, a hot air balloon, and really try and customize it to make it memorable for the client.
Ankush believes a beautiful cake is not only a treat for the eyes, but also food for the mind. It can lift one's spirit and put a smile on people's faces. Whether it's a design that features dim sum decorations, or a cake that reminds you of the adorable teddy bear house that you used to have as a kid, the intricate detail of the cakes is going to create happy memories that will linger on. A well-decorated cake can always win everyone's hearts and make your special day even more special.
So can you explain to me the cake making process?
Sure. So once the design is confirmed with the client, we start to bake the cake fresh based on the flavor they choose. So once we bake the cake, it needs time to cool down, and then we can make the frosting and frost the cake three or four layers up. And then we can coat the cake in chocolate, which needs 24 hours to set overnight in the fridge. And then the next day we can start decorating. So for example, the Hong Kong skyline cake. On the next day when we wrap the cake in fondant, we can stick all the buildings, we can hand make the taxis, we can stick it all together. And for example, the hand painted tier. This one needs time. Each part that we paint needs a few hours to dry till we can do the next layer. And then we can hand sculpt the big Buddha and put it on top. And then that needs another day to dry out till we can paint it edible gold. So the whole process for one cake can be like 3 to 4 days or sometimes even longer.
Why are cake pops so popular in Hong Kong?
So cake pops are actually my favorite dessert to eat, and I think they've become really popular recently with the virus because we can individually pack them, so they're very easy to distribute and very hygienic. I think what's so nice about the cake pop is they're so bite-sized, so they're guilt-free, and they're not as messy as eating a cupcake. It's just 2 bites and it's clean, and they're delicious.
And so when making the cake pop, what's the most important step to remember?
Right, so cake pops also, it's a long process. We first bake the cake one day before, and we let it sit in the fridge or freezer overnight. And the next day we mix it with buttercream and hand roll each ball weighed so they're all the same size. And then they go back in the freezer because they need to be cold and chilled before we can start to decorate them. Because if you use room temperature cake pops, it will just sink inside your chocolate. So we use cold cake pops inside, and once you dip it in the chocolate, we can decorate it with any sprinkles you like, any decorations you like. Sometimes it's logos or like butterflies or flowers. And then it needs a few hours to set in a very cold air-conditioned room. And then finally we can pack them up and they are ready.
I did not realize the perfect light cake requires so much detail and thought. It's not only about the sophistication of each design, but you can really see the baker's patience and love for each masterpiece.
That's all the time we have for this week's episode. If you enjoyed what we've introduced and want to find out more, simply check out our program website. In the coming weeks, continue with us on our sweet journey. Dive into Hong Kong's vibrant dining scene, stay on top of the latest happenings in town, connect with inspiring people from different backgrounds, and look after your well-being. Be sure to tune in again next time.